Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to say thank you for attending to this meeting. So, as for today's meeting, we are given a task to compare and analyze two companies in the technology industries that going to be our savior. Okay, now I will. Hey, can you just wait till the end of the meeting? Okay, so I will hand over the analysis explanation to Haifa, Fariha, Shahida, and Shahira that will explain this company's financial and non-financial analysis. But before that, I will explain a little bit about the chosen company, which is GHL System Berhad and Elsoft Research Berhad. The first company is GHL System Berhad. GHL System Berhad is Malaysia's largest prepaid and bill collection network, incorporated in 1994 and based in Kuala Lumpur. GHL System Berhad has been listed on Bursa Malaysia since 2003 with over 1 billion market capitalization. GHL System Berhad has been as Asia's leading provider in payment solutions, processing transactions per month, over 2 billion payments for over 100 regional and global payment channels and schemes. GHL System Berhad has a large network of over 398,000 payment touchpoints throughout the region within 6 countries, which are Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, and Australia. GHL System Berhad takes pride in being a one-stop provider for online and offline payment solutions. Through financial and non-financial value-added services, GHL System Berhad strives to promote the long-term viability of micro, small, and medium enterprise. The second company is Elsoft Research Berhad. The name Elsoft is made up of two parts, which is electronic and software, which represent the group's key competencies in modern electronic design and system technology innovation. Elsoft Research Berhad was founded in 1996 as an established technology company which is involved in the semiconductor and optoelectronic industries research, design, development, and manufacturing of ATE, which is automated test equipment, and burn-in system in Malaysia. Elsoft was established as a private limited company in Malaysia on June 4, 2003 called Elsoft Research System Berhad. Subsequently, on August 10, 2004, it was converted to a public limited company and has retained its current name since then. On 2nd August 2005, Elsoft was listed in the East market, and on 22nd January 2015, it successfully transitioned to the main market in Bursa Malaysia. Elsoft's key markets are currently automotive, smart devices, and general lighting. The ability to provide full test solutions that involve proprietary software and hardware in the group's key expertise.
Hi, I'm Nur Shaira. So let's go through with financial first. For this analysis, we provide you with the financial ratio, which are net profit margin, inventory turnover, current ratio, asset turn ratio, and also debt ratio. Now, we go through with the net profit margin. But before that, what is the net profit margin? Net profit margin is measured on how much net income is generated as a percentage of revenue. It is the ratio of net profit to revenue for a company or a business segment and can be calculated by dividing the company's net income by its revenue. So this margin allows companies to see on how much their business models are working and to measure their overall profitable. It also can be used to devise profit forecast, which is especially useful for individuals who want to invest in the public companies. Let's move on with the analysis of both companies. As you can see from the analysis in 2017 until 2019, Elsoft has higher net profit margin than GHL that show increasing of the ratio. It can be concluded that Elsoft generate more profit from its sales than GHL. Meanwhile, in 2020, both companies show their ratio decrease drastically, where for GHL from 7.77% to 2.10%, while for Elsoft from 51% to 3.58%. And in 2021, Both companies were able to increase their net profit margin, but the increase of GHL is still quite low compared to AUD689. From this, I can conclude that AUD689 is more profitable than GHL. Next analysis is inventory turnover. Inventory turnover is the number of times a business sells and replaces their stock for a goods. Next analysis is inventory turnover. Inventory turnover is the number of times a business sells and replaces their stock for a given period. Companies can calculate their inventory turnover by dividing sales by average inventories. So a high inventory turnover means goods are sold faster, and a lower turnover rates indicate weak sales and excess inventory, which may be challenging for a business. So for some industry, a good inventory turnover between 5 to 10. A ratio achieves a decent balance between having adequate stock on hand and avoiding needless reorders. And inventory turnover also can be extremely high and can be a bad thing that will affect your business performance. From this calculation, AUD689 inventory turnover is higher than GHL in 5-year comparison. In 2017, GHL inventory turnover is 2 times, while AUD689 is 9 times. That indicate GHL took a long time to sell and restock the inventory compared to AUD689. GHL's efficiency in 2018 until 2020, while AUD689 became inefficient at generate sales from its inventory due to the inventory turnover keeps decreasing from 2018 until 2020, which is 30 times to 4 times. And then in 2021, AUD689 inventory turnover is 6 times, while GHL is 4 times. So from that, we can conclude that AUD689 managed their inventory sold faster than GHL after becoming inefficient in 2018 until 2020. Besides that, we analyze the current ratio for both companies. The current ratio is used to evaluate a company's ability to pay its short-term obligation. It is calculated by dividing current asset by current liability. If the ratio is less than 1, it means that the company may run out of the money within the year unless it can increase their cash flow to obtain more capital. While if the ratio is more than 1, then they are capable to pay their short-term obligation. But if the ratio is too high from the average ratio, it could indicate that the company is not using their asset efficiently and not doing a good job of obtaining the financing.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I'm Nur Shahida, and now I will continue to explain the analysis of the current ratio based on this table. According to the calculation from 2017 until 2020, GHL Berhad shows the current ratio that is more than 1, which the GHL Berhad is able to pay its short-term obligation within the year. But in 2021, the GHL system Berhad current ratio is less than 1, which means the GHL system Berhad may have problem paying its short-term obligation in that year. While for AUD689 Riches Berhad current ratio is more than 1, but since the ratio is too high from the average ratio, it could indicate that the AUD689 Riches Berhad is not using its asset efficiently. From this, we can conclude that GHL system Berhad has a healthy current ratio until 2020. Now let's move to the next ratio, which is the acid test ratio. The acid test ratio, also known as quick ratio, it measures a company's ability to pay off short-term liability with quick asset. It's calculating a company liquidity via current assets and including inventory. It calculates by subtracting inventory from current asset and dividing it by current liability. The higher the ratio, the better the company liquidity and overall financial health. The acid test ratio should exceed 1. If it's less than 1, the company do not have enough quick asset to pay their current liability. Based on this calculation, AUD689 Riches Berhad has a higher acid test ratio than GHL Berhad. in 5 years comparison. From 2017 until 2021, we can see that both companies mostly have a quick enough asset to pay their current liability. Except in 2021, AUD689 Berhad asset test ratio is less than 1. This shows that AUD689 Berhad does not have enough asset to pay their current liability that year. It can be concluded that AUD689 Berhad has a better ratio where they have enough asset to pay their current liability for 4 years than GHL System Berhad. But in 2021, GHL System Berhad ratio is better than AUD689 Berhad. And for the last ratio that we analyze for these both companies is debt ratio. Debt ratio measures the relative amount of a company's assets that are provided from debt. It indicates the percentage of the assets that are financed with debt. The higher the ratio, the greater the degree of leverage and financial risk. A company's debt ratio can be calculated by dividing total debt by total asset. Investors use the ratio to make sure the company meets current and future obligations and can generate a return on their investment. From the calculation, we can see that GHL System Berhad and AUD689 Precious Berhad have a good debt ratio for the 5 years, where from 2017 until 2021, the company's debt ratio is considered lower than 40%. It shows that the company has low financial risk and enough to generate cash flow to pay the debt. So it is easier for the company to borrow the money. Can be concluded that AUD689 Precious Berhad has more low risk and generate enough cash flow to pay the debt than GHL System Berhad, since its debt ratio is lower than GHL System Berhad, even though both companies have a low debt ratio.
From now on, we will continue on the trend analysis for the non-financial aspects. First, I, Umi Haifa, will start with the women's involvement in top management for both companies. Before we move further, let me briefly explain about top management. Top management is made up of senior level executives of an organization, or those positions that hold the most responsibility and have the authority when making business decisions. In 2017, GHL Systems Berhad had involved 2 women in the top management out of 12 positions, that is Chief Finance Officer and Country Head for GHL Thailand. Same goes to the 2018, 2 out of 12 positions are women, which are Independent Non-Executive Director, and the same Country Head, making 16.67% of the position are held by women for both years. For the year 2019 and 2020, GHL Systems Berhad had 1 additional country head, that is for Indonesia. The percentage of women being involved in the top management had increased to 20%. Lastly, for the year 2021, with only the Independent Non-Executive Director stayed in the top management, GHL System appointed 4 new positions to be held by women, making the percentage increase to 25% out of 20 positions. The 4 newly appointed women had positions as Independent Non-Executive Director, Group Head of Human Resource and Administration, and Head of Corporate Communication and Marketing. Meanwhile, the percentage of women involvement in the top management of AUD689 Precious Berhad remained the same for the period of 5 years, which is 18.18%. The percentage represents 2 out of 11 positions that are held by women. From here, we can see that GHL Systems Berhad had involved more women in their top management and showed an increase over the years compared to AUD689 Resources Berhad, that the percentage remained the same from 2017 to 2021.
I'm Fariha, and now I will be explaining about the corporate social responsibility of GHL and ELSOFT. But first, what is corporate social responsibility? It is a self-regulating business model that helps the company to be socially accountable to its staff, its stakeholders, and the public. Companies can be conscious of the kind of impact they are having on all aspects of society, including economic, social, and also environmental. I will explain on GHL first. GHL has made countless donations in the 5 years, and they are actively doing their part to give back to the community. In 2017, GHL has donated to 3 separate entities. The first one is to keep in charity amounted to RM20,000. GHL&EP Malaysia donated RM3,000 to the National Cancer Society of Malaysia in conjunction with the Rapid KL BRT Run 2017. Moreover, GHL employees also donated clothes, toy, hygiene kit, food and milk product, and also educational materials to Children's Joy Foundation in Persian. Moreover, GHL Philippines also partnered with Gawat Kalingga, a non-profit, non-governing organization which specializes in building homes and communities for the less privileged for a house building activity. In 2018, GHL did a blood donation drive campaign. In 2019, GHL contributed RM20,000 to sponsor art and exploration classes, giving the opportunity to 20 underprivileged kids to have fun and learn about painting. On the other hand, GHL Thailand participated in the Run for Your Heart activity to stimulate healthy, balanced lifestyle. The proceeds went to the Heart Foundation of Thailand. In University Malaya Internship Day, GHL shares its role in the payment industry while also exposing them to the internship expectation and career opportunities. In 2020, GHL sponsored a course of RM30,000 aimed to get a fintech expert to share practical and useful insight, knowledge as well as experience through real-life cases. For donation, GHL Thailand donated items that were in good condition such as clothes, bags, shoes, toys, electrical appliances, and so on to Penkan Society by Yuvabat Hana Foundation. In 2021, flagship program Support Our Merchant and Care for Community focused on raising donation drive to support GHL merchant and also local non-governmental organization. GHL also did a contribution to offer to the Forest Research Institute, Malaysia, along with participation in tree planting activities. Now I will explain on AUD689 Corporate Social Responsibility. In 2017, AUD689 donated to Pure Lotus Cancer Foundation to provide support to poor cancer patients, and another is to Penang Handicap Welfare Associate to train and educate each disabled child according to their special ability. AUD689 also preserves electricity wastage by switching off when not in use, reducing paper printing and using recyclable packing material. Moreover, AUD689 also minimized the consumption of non-recycled material, minimizing the level of pollutants entering into the air and strictly complying with environmental regulatory requirements to ensure sustainable development. In 2018, AUD689 donated to Kriya Lakshmi Mandir Shri Sai Gurukul Charitable Society to provide guidance and also education to underserved children. To reduce the environmental impact, AUD689 also replaced more than 90% of fluorescent light with LED lights in production area in view of long-term energy saving. They also encourage the use of technology to reduce paper consumption and also recycle the use of packing materials among the employees. In 2019, AUD689 made a donation to Cancer Research Malaysia to conduct research in niche cancers often found in our Asian population. For reducing the environmental impact, AUD689 did the same thing as the previous year, but they also start using renewable energy. The reduction in fossil electricity consumption will result in reduction in air pollution. In 2020, AUD689 contributed 60 units of temperature scanner to the Penang Island City Council and Seberang Perai City Council as part of their effort to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2021, AUD689 donated 2 units Sky Atmosphere Air Purifier System to Hospital Kepala Batas and 200 sets of disposable triple lumen brown Certopic Trio to Hospital Pulau Pinang to help COVID-19 patients. In conclusion, both GHL System Berhad and also AUD689 Research Berhad care deeply about the society and environment. GHL firmly believes that giving a heart will translate into core values that cascade right down to every employee. Being part of the community, AUD689 also acknowledges its responsibility by giving back to the community as part of the good business practice.
Okay, besides we know about the financial and non-financial part, we must also know their latest news. So, The current news of GHL System Berhad is from media release on April 26, 2022 with the title of GHL wins biggest My Debit acquirer in the non-bank category award. The media release states that GHL CardPay was named the best My Debit acquirer in the non-bank category at the Malaysian E-Payments Excellence Award 2022. For 6 consecutive years, GHL has been the largest non-bank My Debit acquirer. GHL CardPay received the prize for having the greatest My Debit acquiring volume in 2021, ranking 4th in the overall results that include banks. The current news of Elsoft Research Berhad is from article by Shafiqah Salim at thehmarket.com on March 16, 2022 with the title of Elsoft to sell property in Penang for 38 million ringgit Malaysia. The article states that the property sales proceeds will be used for business expansion, general working capital, product facility, and for a special dividend. The sales offered an opportunity for the organization to instantly unlock value and monetize its property investment. As a result, it will improve the liquidity and cash flow condition. To sum up the comparison analysis of these two companies, it showed that in terms of financial, Elsoft Research Berhad showed better than GHL System Berhad in net profit margin, inventory turnover, asset test ratio, and debt ratio. While in terms of non-financial, GHL System Berhad showed better results than Elsoft Research Berhad when they involved more women in top management and had consistent corporate social responsibility every year. That's all for today's meeting. Thank you.